Over the past week, countless streamers, content creators, and YouTubers published their reaction videos to Halo Infinite's E3 2021 expose.
Oh!
Yo! The 20th anniversary of Xbox. To our millions of passionate fans,
They have him!
thank you. Oh, his armor looks so good!
And much to my dismay, it is a whole lot of stroking and not enough.
I swear to God I had something for this.
Look, Halo Infinite is 343 Industries' final chance to design a Halo game that leads the gaming industry rather than follows its existing trends. Hundreds of videos exist on Halo 4's woes, Halo 5's affliction on the franchise, and 343's future if they fuck this up. We have a lot to discuss in this video, but if you are expecting an emotionally driven hidden Xperia hype fest, then brace for impact, Spartans. You are in for a bumpy ride.
Say what?
I am Vincent, the founder of rejectthenarrative.org, and this is Halo Infinite Crisis Management. Welcome to Reject the Narrative. You can find the Work in Progress website at rejectthenarrative.org. This would be a great time to roll ads and sponsors, but I don't have any. So before getting into the thick of it like Hassim G at Comic-Con,
I'm in the thick of it!
we need to examine Halo's track record, its current existence in the gaming ecosystem, and its future with Halo Infinite. Before all that, let's first examine my experience with Halo and why I'm such an authoritative figure on the franchise. My first Halo game was Halo Combat Evolved on PC. Yes, we lad Vincent, a mere 9 years old in 2003, when Gearbox released the superior iteration of Halo Combat Evolved, the iteration that's actually used in the Master Chief Collection today. You see, Vincent's parents were under the delusion that video game consoles like the Xbox and PlayStation had no practical purpose because there were no educational games. Therefore, I began my professional gaming career in the late 1990s on the PC Master Race with educational games like Reader Rabbit, Descent, Half-Life, Medal of Honor, in this really cool racing game that my cousin introduced me to called Grand Theft Auto. Fascinating educational material for a 5-year-old. In 2005, my good friend and neighbor brought his Xbox over during summer break, where we had the opportunity to experience games we did not have at our own homes. He used my computer to play the better Counter-Strike, and I used his Xbox to play Halo 2 and Fable. I played the absolute shit out of those games. It was not until August 2006 when the unthinkable happened. With all my money saved up, I bought my first video game console, the Xbox 360. I bought the console specifically for Halo 3's planned 2007 release date, killing time with games like the superior Skyrim, Underground Lizard Warfare, the better Siege 1 and 2, Splinter Cell, I Wish I Was Chaos Theory Double Agent, Geometry Wars. Look, I played a lot of games at this time. After the GameStop midnight release of Halo 3, that's when the real competitive nature began. Competitions, tournaments, split screen with friends, discovering the exploits and the secrets to ultimately seek the crown of MLG champion, which never happened. Additionally, at San Diego Comic-Con in 2010, Bungie and 343 specifically selected me to win one of 6 Halo Reach themed Xbox 360 consoles during the hour-long panel. For the sake of this video, I highly recommend you watch this panel to fully grasp the excitement the community had for Halo. Needless to say, I'm definitely an authoritative figure on the franchise. Before I get too off the rails like the worst chapter in Half-Life, let's move on to Halo's track record. Halo had an incredible track record. As previously stated, the original Bungie trilogy was met with critical acclaim from the critics and the Halo community alike. Halo Combat Evolved demonstrated a competent console first-person shooter with an intriguing story, a badass soundtrack, and a multiplayer mode which created stories of its own during the days of split screen and system link. Halo 2 was the first introduction to Xbox Live, and was it incredible? Absolutely. Clan support, voice chat, instant messaging, matchmaking. Look, a bunch of you noobs, the millennials and Gen Z in gaming, fail to realize that prior to Halo 2's innovation in console matchmaking and ranking systems, a vast majority of online games ran off of a server browser where you had to put in the work to find the game you were looking for. You always joined a game in progress and would get matched with ultra chads or complete scrubs. I want to give a special thank you to Microsoft Word for adding the hyphen in ultra chad. Halo 2 topped this all off by amplifying the soundtrack with the famed guitarist Steve Vai, and left the campaign on a cliffhanger still discussed to this day. Halo 3 was even more popular of an esport than Halo 2, with its reign and captivity lasting for years to come. The Forge mode enhanced player customization and modifications where the community designed game types and maps the developers never thought possible. Halo was the leader. Halo was the pioneer. Halo was the innovation. Halo was
Trailblazer and explorer, going into space, mathematics, quantum mechanics, the secrets of the universe.
Note the key words here. Had and was. The year is 2021. Where is Halo now? How does a franchise deviate from industry leadership to crippling submission? How does Halo transition from being the defining champion of the Xbox video game system to a distant, forgotten memory of our gaming experiences? What changed, turning the emblematic Master Chief, a legendary, stoic mastermind of inconceivable proportions, to an emotionally broken and distraught figure seeking his beloved lost companion? The answer is complex, but I'm going to break it down with two simple categories: change in leadership and change in the gaming industry. This is Halo's existence in the modern gaming ecosystem. The only relevance Halo sustains in 2021 is through the Master Chief Collection, which are decade-old plus games, and Halo 5. Although it's not a great stronghold on the overall gaming ecosystem. Compared to the glory days of 2005 to 2010, Halo went from a household name to a, oh yeah, I remember that game. Let's first look at that change in leadership. Following Bungie's split from Microsoft in 2009, 343 Industries, a studio established by Microsoft, took the helm of the Halo franchise. 343 Industries is tasked with the impossible: make Halo great again. This change in leadership is the most controversial period of Halo history. Some of my friends completely wrote off Halo as that distant memory of their gaming experiences. Some of my friends have hope, for some reason, that Halo Infinite is the return to form. Where do you stand? Let me know in the comments section below. Let me put it to you directly. Since 343 took the reins of Halo, this franchise is in a state of infinite crisis management. 343.
You're fired.
Halo 4's story was incredibly difficult to follow if you are not balls deep in the franchise. Every cutscene should have ended with, for more information, read the following Halo books, comics, or other extracurricular material. Halo 4's multiplayer was an imbalanced, short-lived travesty with dull and uninspiring level design. Can you name some of your favorite Halo 4 maps? Neither can I. Many of its best maps are remakes from Halo 3 like The Pit and Valhalla. Haven was probably the most Halo-like map, but the Forerunner architecture made it so bland to look at. This map stood out so much that it was remade as Mercy in Halo 5. That is Halo 4's multiplayer legacy. One original map. The Master Chief Collection was not only a clusterfuck at launch, but a clunky mess for 3 years after launch. The launch was such a disaster that Bonnie Ross, the head of 343 Industries, issued a public apology for their extraordinarily shit quality. Trust me, her actual words. And vowed to improve for us, the players. This cost Microsoft and 343 Industries a free month of Xbox Live and Halo 3's ODST campaign for free distributed to the players, not to mention an internal combustion of 343's reputation as a studio. It was not until 2018 where the Master Chief Collection on Xbox One was stable, playable, and consistent 4 years after its initial launch. As it stands today, the Master Chief Collection on Xbox One has a modest cross-platform player base on Xbox and PC. Without accessible and simple statistic tracking tools, it's difficult for me to convey to you exactly how many players there are. Of course, we can't talk about the change in leadership without talking about Halo 5. Now with Halo 5, you can find sentiment ranging from ultra cool to the fuck is this? I have a few things to say about Halo 5, which some are either unwilling to say or unable to publicly say. But this is reject the narrative, and I don't give a fuck. Halo 5 demonstrated that social justice successfully infiltrated 343 Industries, and it crippled the narrative, the characters, and ultimately the entire campaign. Remember, Master Chief has feelings now, and is not that green husk of armor which Bungie intended for him. Halo 5 left me with the presumption that some corporate dickhead at Microsoft walked around the 343 Industries studio with a clipboard asking, and, do we have a character of, African American descent? Yes, oh, good. Inclusivity, yes, very, very important. How many, females are there in this story? 4? 4, okay, and, men? 4? Oh, good. A very good balance. Yes, we must, yes, we need to have that balance. Yes, excellent. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Okay, thanks. Please continue. Look, it is ridiculous. It's ridiculous that we had to sacrifice the quality of characters for a social justice-driven narrative. But at no point in time does the story of Halo 5 tell you who these people are, what their motives are, their military background, their qualifications as a Spartan, the most elite super soldier in the Halo universe, and Lord have mercy on the cardboard, flat, and for lack of a better word, boring dialogue given to these characters. I do not give a damn if the entire cast and crew of Halo 5 Guardians consisted of Choctaw Indians and Turians from Mass Effect. The bottom line is, characters void of any, character destroy my interest in the story. I do not know who the characters are and what their relevance is, and I have never seen a reason for me to care because there is zero exposition. So great work, SJW crowd. You hit all the ticks on the social justice hierarchy while sacrificing what could have been and what was marketed as an incredible, groundbreaking, innovative, earth-shattering campaign story. And before I go off on a tangent, I will not even touch the subject of the typical and overdone story arc of the AI will wreak havoc as it turns against the humans. Look, there's no turning back now. Let's see what 343 conjures up to repair this broken narrative arc that they've created with Halo 5. The multiplayer? I spent very little time with it for reasons discussed in the next segment. Let's move on to the next segment and discuss the changes in the gaming industry, which led to Halo's irrelevance. The change of leadership of the Halo franchise brings the series at a point of no return. 343 will either turn this ship around and Halo Infinite will become that leader in the gaming sphere once again, or they will fail miserably in every possible category and do so while allegedly spending the largest budget for a single video game in history. Before we get to the final segment of this video and discuss the future of the franchise with Halo Infinite, we need to examine the change in the gaming industry, particularly since 2010, Bungie's swan song to the franchise. Player customization became huge when publishers relinquished control of community-driven mods and monetized skins and loot boxes and battle passes. The demand is huge, but the stupidity is omnipresent. Unfortunately, new gamers fail to realize that back in the day, modders within the community created the skins, created the maps, and created the game types, and above all, every bit of this was free to download from third-party sites. Games transitioned from a retail product on store shelves to a software-as-a-service digital distribution platform, which ultimately costs the consumer the $60 base game, the $50 season pass, the $30 battle pass, the nickel and diming of character and weapon skins, and maybe a few map packs. Nowadays, a fully fledged AAA video game costs north of $200 for all of the content, but they keep doing it because you smooth brains keep buying it. The free-to-play model of Halo Infinite multiplayer is nothing new. Free-to-play games are funded by the corruption of skins and loot boxes and battle or season passes. This is a subject which I will expand on in a future video of its own. The most important takeaway for you is this: Halo Infinite shifting multiplayer to a free-to-play model is either a brilliant decision enhancing accessibility for the pores, or it is a devastating alteration to a game locked behind a paywall since its inception 20 years ago. The final change in the gaming industry that I need to go over is accessibility. Accessibility can mean one of two things: the Xbox Adaptive Controller providing people with a physical disability to completely overhaul and configure the gaming controller, tailoring it to their liking. That's fantastic. The other thing that accessibility means is idiot-proof. Modern first-person shooters are equivalent to bowling with the bumpers in your adult years. It's stupid. It's virtually idiot-proof. It holds your hand, and it makes life so simple. That's the type of accessibility I despise. Modern first-person shooters have hit markers, point systems, highlighting virtually every move your character makes. Did you get an assist? Points on screen. Kill. Points on screen. Dealt 1 damage. Points on screen. Headshot. Points on screen. Multiplayer games automatically enable profanity filters for in-game chat. You don't get to experience the Modern Warfare 2 lobbies of 2009, and quite frankly, with how soft and brittle the kids are nowadays, kids nowadays could not survive a single Modern Warfare 2 lobby from 2009.
Shoot a gun, dog. Learn how to fucking shoot a gun, you fucking riot shield. What else you want me to do? Oh, riot shield! I'm a pussy that use riot shield! Oh, I'm a pussy. What do you want me to use? Faggot.
Matchmaking has configuration settings, restriction settings. Do you want to play with people of the same country? Do you want to play with the same input settings? Do you want to play with people with the same zodiac sign? Look, it's getting to that point. Seriously, it's gonna get bad. First-person shooters are all about competition. Always have been, always will be. When games like Rainbow Six Siege, Valorant, Overwatch, and yes, Halo Infinite introduce a built-in wall hack ability into a competitive game, arguably making it more accessible for the plebs, I'm jumping ship faster than Leonardo DiCaprio in the Titanic. Admittedly, a lot of the changes in the gaming industry require a separate video, but it was necessary for me to give some exposition, unlike 343's Halo campaigns. Before we come to a conclusion, let's strictly talk about the future of the Halo franchise with Halo Infinite, specifically during this E3 2021 reveal. Halo Infinite is 343 Industries' final opportunity to restore integrity to the Halo franchise, restore it to its former glory and become the trendsetter, become the leader, become the showstopper, and become the premier competitive esport. Since the change in leadership, Halo went from an alpha as fuck leader to a beta bitch follower. The primary characteristic absent from Halo is quality. Quality story, quality gameplay, quality level design, quality mechanics, quality of life, quality community, quality delivery. Gone. Do I want Halo Infinite to succeed? Yes. However, I need much more data than is publicly given. I need flighting, I need testing, I need to break this game's mechanics, the balance, the map design. 343 has been all talk and no action. They hyped Halo 4, they hyped Halo 5 Guardians, and they're pumping millions of dollars into the marketing of Halo Infinite, but so far have failed to deliver and impress somebody that's been with this series virtually since inception. I looked forward to the release of the Master Chief Collection on PC more so than I was looking forward to Halo 4, Halo 5, and Halo Infinite combined. There are many nitpicky details I could rip apart about the E3 2021 multiplayer reveal. I'm going to wrap up this video by going through these quickly. Not big on sliding. COVID gave us highlighters. Watch the pulse, watch the pulse. This is called built-in wall hacks. They are really trying to sell this grapple hook. I'm thrilled that No Scope finally has a medal, and this gun can be interesting. COVID gave us highlighters part 2. This is the shit nobody should be excited for, and everybody should want data. Again, looks cool, does it play well? That's all that matters. Same with the grapple hook. This all looks pretty good. This is big team battle stuff. This is ordnance drops. It's going to be interesting to find out what game type this is, but again, it's a smoke and mirrors show. It is designed to sell you the game. The only place that I should ever see this armor is if you are the Juggernaut. Otherwise, it looks ridiculous. In conclusion, I feel nothing about the Halo Infinite E3 2021 information. E3 2021 is a smoke and mirrors game show. I hate to break it to you. It is the grand stage, the premier show, the show where it is their job to sell you the game. I remember discussing this with exhibitors at Comic-Con, with publishers, with developers, and they specifically say Comic-Con is their favorite show because they already did their job back at E3. They already sweat, they already bled, they already shed tears at E3. Now they get to just kick back at Comic-Con and let everybody enjoy what they already shown. I am not sold. I need data, I need game time, and I need information to fully digest and review to give 343 Industries the benefit of the doubt. I have spent literal months of my life playing this damn game, and to me, this is their final opportunity. I want it to be fantastic. I want to see the old generation and new generation of Halo players coexist. I want to see Halo Infinite as the most anticipated esport with thousands of live audience members packed into an arena. Will 343 Industries deliver? That's all for this video. Leave a comment, visit the website at rejectthenarrative.org, and subscribe to the Reject the Narrative YouTube channel. Accept nothing, challenge everything. Reject the narrative.